And we're live. Welcome everybody to the Anthony Irwin, or no, not to the Anthony Irwin show. I got to change that too. Welcome to the Pressure Cooker. I'm Anthony Irwin. That's right. And we are going to watch the last 5 minutes of this one. The Lakers are currently down 103-97 in Cleveland with 4:44 to go in the fourth quarter. Dennis Schroeder is at the line right now after getting fouled by Jared Allen. All right, he sinks the second, and it is 103-98 with 4:40 to go here in the fourth. Look, to catch those who may not have been watching up, Anthony Davis left the game early after coming down with flu-like symptoms. So I guess the good news there is it isn't like a physical malady that you have to be worried about kind of too much long term. Oh. Hey, there she is. Sabrina Merchant of The Athletic is joining us. That has a nice ring to it.
It does have a nice ring to it. How's it going, man?
It really does. Sabrina, well, one, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the new gig. How nice is it not working for Harrison? All right, so you've clearly been paying attention. You can't get away from. You can't quit the Lakers.
I can't.
If you tried.
No, this is my lifeblood. It's a tough decision, but you know.
Do you miss like the regular conversation of will the Lakers ever get these guys some help? Is that something that you miss terribly?
I mean, so just peeking behind the curtain here, I am still on the Silver Screen Rules Slack, so the conversation is still happening.
It is the conversation that just like
I
go to bed thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it.
30-year-old MVP candidate playing at his best. Why not get him some help?
You know, seems simple.
Seems pretty simple.
We have to wait another 9 days.
Yeah, this is it's gotten a little out of hand, unfortunately.
It has. As soon as I sat down for the pressure cooker, the pressure was alleviated. There was
it's been a rough Lonnie game today. Austin hasn't hit it like any jumpers really. Other than the brief Troy Brown isolation interlude, which was fun. Don't get me wrong. Not a lot of help from the guard room. So
yeah, it's been Russ is playing hard. He's created some extra opportunities and stuff like that, but he's been pretty bad defensively. And Lonnie isn't hitting anything. Reeves
Lonnie was pretty bad defensively on Garland.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is where, like, you kind of hope for Schroeder to play better defensively and Pat to play better defensively.
I actually thought Pat was fine defensively. It just was so bad offensively that they couldn't afford to play him.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. Their two guards are just too quick. They're too quick. They can shoot too well. Like, it's impossible to guard that player when they're shooting, and as Donovan Mitchell hits a step back 3-pointer to send it to 113-98 with 3:21 to go. Lakers call timeout. But yeah, it's just in the NBA, small guards have so many benefits, right? Like every bit of contact they're gonna get. That's usually called for a foul.
Okay.
And they are so good. They have gotten so good at shooting the 3-pointer that you have to guard them like 30-something feet away from the basket. And if you're quick, then being guarded 30-something feet away from the basket is exactly what you kind of want. If every time you're dribbling towards the basket, you get any kind of contact, you're probably going to the free throw line. So it's just
Anthony,
all of this is just really difficult.
The irony of you just extolling the virtues of small guards.
Well, I meant good small guards. The Lakers don't have any of those.
When you said small guards, I was like, oh, he's going to go on another rant about how you can't have so many of them. And then it's like, there's a lot of benefits of the small guards.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're an elite small guard, I do think there's a ceiling on how good your team is going to be if your best player is a small guard. Like
Just why
Atlanta's,
Cleveland's roster construction is so interesting because they have elite
yeah,
bigs, I would say, alongside those elite small guards.
right. And even there, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if those guys get picked on in a playoff
Mhm.
setting. If some team figures out a way to pick on them, but yeah, that size around them makes it difficult. But yeah, for the Lakers though, like either you want elite small guards defensively to be able to contend against those
Mhm.
other small guards, and the Lakers don't have any of those, or you want size that can guard those guys from like a foot back and then can still contend because they have
Right.
additional length on those guys. And in theory, that would be Lonnie, but he's, I think, still like 2 inches too short to be able to get that kind of advantage. And he also, like, he's just now started working on his defense.
Yeah, I was going to say this was a very undisciplined game from Lonnie defensively.
Yeah.
And like this is the kind of game, like you said, where you would hope that Dennis and Pat were able to bring it defensively. And honestly, like I think we're going to look back at the numbers, and I never know whether to like what to make of those NBA tracking stats because it's like if you were the last guy to defend someone for the last 2 seconds of a 24-second possession, like you get the credit. But like I do think that Donovan has actually been defended fairly well by Patrick Beverley today. It's just that again, like how disrespected is Patrick Beverley as a shooter right now? It's insane. Like I was talking with Raj about this because this is I can't help myself. And it was like he was saying, well, imagine if THT were taking those shots, and it's like imagine if Stanley Johnson were just taking those shots.
Sabrina, imagine if we were taking those shots.
I think
how different would the defense look?
What Dennis Schroeder is accomplishing, honestly. Seriously, every single jumper looks short the minute it leaves his hand.
Yeah. Well, Pat and Nunn did this too. Like it was funny. It was funny how quick the hook was, even with Nunn, because like he's not good defensively, obviously. Yeah. And then Russ kicks the ball out to him, driving to the basket. He's open in the corner, and there's the hesitation.
Yep.
And you were getting the same thing from Pat. They finally brought Troy Brown back. They have JT. Oh, they called it off.
I'm going to say if they dusted off JTA, then this is the scrubs.
Yeah. That's too bad. I would have liked to seen JTA.
What does Juan Toscano Anderson have to do to get real minutes? What do you think?
What does Troy Brown have to do? Like Troy
Brown's getting real minutes. He had to run the offense for like 3 possessions. Well, they were letting him just like clear out.
I think he's probably going to finish with like 20 minutes in the game, right?
See, Troy Brown, the minutes are not super concerning to me because he's never averaged a very high minute load.
Yeah, so he's going to finish at like 21
I don't know
minutes.
if he can hold up with a higher minute load.
I'm just saying that, like the
now,
Lakers,
I'm of the belief that he should be starting anyway, just because like you want your best players in the starting lineup. But like, I'm not terribly concerned with the amount of minutes he's playing, just because he seems a little gimpy to me.
Yeah, he does seem like one of those players who's just like always grabbing something, or always just kind of wincing.
Russ, like there was this one fast break earlier in the game where like Austin sees him and just knows not to throw the ball to him at the hoop because he doesn't know how much lift he's going to get, going up. And there was that earlier play where Russ found him in the lane and he had to like back out and take that 15-foot jumper, which he made. Great. But like there's a certain lack of burst there that makes me a little concerned about raising the minute load on Troy Brown.
Hey, just on schedule, well, he fouled him. But and that's what I'm talking about with small guards. Like all you have to do is take a jumper and fall and you're going to get the call. But yeah, but JTA, like he was able to take a step back and still be able to contain Mitchell. Like Mitchell was just straight blowing by people before. For in the fourth quarter when the game was kind of decided, he was just whatever he wanted. And here again, he winds up at the free throw line, so it doesn't really matter. But I would like to see, to your point a second ago, I would like to see Anderson kind of back in the rotation, especially when AD is out, because like you're just going to go super small with Thomas Bryant at center.
I kind of get the rationale behind not playing JTA on a regular basis because he seems to me like a small ball 4, and I'm fairly pleased with our big rotation as is, right? Like Bron and AD obviously get the bulk of the minutes. Thomas Bryant's back at 5, and then Wenyan's there too. So like I understand why he's not getting those regular minutes. But like today, for him not to play with two of those bigs out was
Right.
very surprising to me.
Yeah, he should have just gotten Wenyen's minutes.
Exactly.
Basically, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the problem there too is like Wenyen is bigger and they shoot the same from 3-point range. Like I have as much confidence in both of those guys from 3-point range, so it just gets tough. I don't know.
I think I would like the Lakers like 2.5% more if they stopped dialing up plays that ended in Wenyen 3-pointers.
Only two?
Maybe like another 2.5% more if we stop dialing up plays for Schroeder 3-pointers.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is like I don't know if it's necessarily that they're dialing up plays for them. It's that defenses leave them so wide open that it's like instinctual to pass that person the ball.
I think it was last game. There was an out of timeout play where it was literally a driving kick to Wenyen. And I was like, I don't know if this was the first option, but the fact that it's directly out of a timeout makes me a little concerned.
Like, Wenyen standing in the opposite corner and Sabrina's just like, all right, let's take a look at these comments. Yeah, Mitchell called game. Why can't our small guards do that? Well, because they aren't Donovan Mitchell and they aren't Darius Garland.
I mean, when Lonnie's cooking, he can do some things. I think
he's never going to be that clean off the dribble, though.
Yeah, no, I get that. But I think this game is an example of like why he was not retained by the San Antonio Spurs. Like there are limitations to Lonnie Walker.
Well, this is perfect. So here's Moglinator. Why can't our small guards do that? And there's John because they can't hit the three. Perfect.
Oh, but Anthony, I'm surprised we haven't brought this up yet. Really nice game from Damian Jones.
Yeah, I told Harrison he gets PS5 access tonight. You know, he's on the flight to wherever they're going, and then when they get into the hotel room, he's no longer grounded. Like he actually broke a sweat. He might have broken a sweat.
I think the very first like possession he was in the game, he drew 2 fouls on Cleveland while he was like boxing out for defensive rebounds or offensive rebounds, which like
well, that was always I don't know. Maybe I have to go back and be like Raj and rewatch his 10 days with the Lakers previously. But I never thought he was a low motor guy. Like I thought
not on the Lakers.
Yeah, I thought he was like everywhere. That's part of why I thought he looked so good in a game where he scored 2 points and grabbed 1 rebound.
10-day motor, not guaranteed contract motor.
He's like Trevor Ariza. He's like, it's got to be contract. It's got to be a contract here, or else I'm just.
Trevor Ariza is like Jason Tatum.
I think more Jaylen Brown because it doesn't matter what situation Ariza is in, he can't dribble. But yeah, like I think, yeah, I don't know. I that was the thing that I was kind of most disappointed by from
Damian
Jones was that like he's not a skilled big, you know, he's not somebody who like you want to design pick and rolls for. You know, he's more of a vertical threat than he is like the actual production of verticality. But he also worked his ass off when he was on the Lakers, and watching him just kind of go through the motions was really disappointing. Cleveland is sitting on it at this point. 116-102 is going to be the final. Sabrina, thank you very much for joining us. This was a blast.
Not a lot of pressure.
There was a cooker. There was, you know, Donovan Mitchell was indeed cooking the Lakers.
I really hope that Damian Jones has realized that he's not getting minutes because of the effort. And like there is an opportunity for him now with Wenyen out for a week at least.
Well, and I think
the Lakers just need some of that energy, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Darvin Ham certainly seems like the kind of coach who would tell Jones directly, you aren't playing because you're not working hard.
Not playing hard enough, yeah.
And maybe it's the experience and the actual reward and the actual carrot here that inspires that kind of effort. But yeah, I mean, they need something out of him until they trade for Miles Turner. He is still like an injury away from being relied upon.
Yeah. I have one more question for you before we head out. Mm-hmm. How many more games are we getting the Dennis, Pat Bev, Lonnie Walker starting trio?
this has to be it, right? Like it's just, well, it's not even. If they went, because Reeves isn't big, right? He's small by small
I'm going to put this out
forwards.
there. I'm fine with not starting Reeves because I understand that he's a little bit more limited against starting guards. I get that.
Yeah.
You just got to put Troy Brown instead of Pat or Dennis.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing that I didn't get was like coaches usually look for any excuse to stick with a starting lineup, especially coming off of a big win, and to change it after beating the Bucks in Milwaukee was like I didn't understand that at all. Like all right, that was fun. Clearly, the problem in that game was Troy Brown. Like what? I didn't
I don't really
understand.
remember Troy Brown in that game, honestly, but like I don't think it was a problem.
But that's a good thing. Like Troy Brown is either you don't want to notice him or you want to notice that he's like shooting the crap out of them. But like if you're but Pat is so noticeable on offense is the thing, you know.
I want to point out that I said Pat was washed during the preseason, and Aaron told me not to worry because the games didn't matter. Here we are.
Yeah. I was nervous about the trade as soon as it looked like they weren't moving Russ, right? Like as soon as it looked like they were going to wait till 20 games in and then now December 15th. And then now Jovan is saying that apparently because of the way Russ is playing that they aren't going to move him. The Beverly trade looks really bad in hindsight.
It looks terrible.
Really, really, really bad.
At least there were no picks gone with it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But it was your only like non-Russ contract.
Agreed. And I think, I mean, this team is just dying for a forward to play next to LeBron and AD. And like Stanley Johnson did that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a little bit last year.
Gavin Elowitz. Can the Lakers can't no, because Utah released him.
Stanley Johnson, but he's not on a team. So
yeah, like they have to wait for another team to pick him up and then waive him, I think.
Yeah.
They can't sign him right now.
No. Theoretically, if he were signed by another team, they could trade for Stanley Johnson.
Mm-hmm. And then if that team drops him or whatever, they can pick him up. But they couldn't pick him up directly from Utah because of the old Zydrunas Ilgauskas move.
And the Lakers are unavailable, not allowed to acquire him yet.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I just kept thinking about all of the games that the Lakers played against Utah last year where Stanley Johnson was a delight. And I'm like, who would I love to have switch on to Donovan Mitchell right now?
Or just like fill like 10 to 15 minutes at the wing. Mm-hmm. Just, I don't know, whatever. Sabrina, tell us about your work before we get you out of here.
Yeah. So I'm at The Athletic. I'm covering women's basketball exclusively, which is just a treat, honestly. We've got this partnership with Google where we're diving in to what WNBA players are doing during the off seasons because it's a big part of their lives. And obviously the Brittany Griner situation has shown some of the perils that come with their off-season situations. Mm-hmm. So I've been writing a lot about just the various avenues that players take when they're not playing in the WNBA. And I got another one of those pieces coming up on Thursday.
Is there, because of the Griner situation, like this has to light a fire under the WNBA's butt to like get them enough money to where they don't have to go out and play in the offseason, right?
Yeah. There are
like this should be the final straw.
Yeah, there are certain monetary agreements they have like for players to do marketing for the league or for their teams during the offseason, which gets them an extra paycheck. I just anticipate that like there is an opt-out, I think, after next season, which I assume the players will exercise in the CBA so that contracts can go. Because there's this interesting dichotomy in the W where like there are these old owners who've been in the league for a very long time and are very gun shy about the health of the league, right? Because they've seen teams collapse and, have to fold and like gone from 16 to 12. And then there are these new owners like the Mark Davises and the Joe Tsais who just want to spend as much money as possible and are like limited by the fact that they're not allowed to.
Right.
And I think as expansion comes in, as, Phoenix is selling their team, Minnesota is selling to Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lore. I think as more of these new owners come in, there's just going to be like this groundswell of like, hey, we're just going to keep breaking the rules and paying them more and F it and see what happens, That's
fascinating because like usually when any kind of CBA negotiation comes up, it's
The owners are trying
players
to save
union
money, right?
against yeah, well, but like usually it's like a very split thing, right? Like the NBA is going to come up against this
Right.
here in the next year or so, where it's going to be a very clear split between the
Their
players
opt-out's coming
union
in
and
like
owners.
9 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but like with here, it's the players versus the old owners versus the new owners. It's fascinating. And look, money talks. So I kind of sort of think like I'm praying. I hope that this is the case. It should have been the case regardless, especially now with the Griner situation. Like just putting, because like the other part of it too. There's so many things that like in the WNBA, like we had a W specific show where you ranted and raved about the Sparks, and in a way that I ranted and raved about the Lakers. And the entire time that you were doing that, I just kept thinking of like, there are so many things about the W that just don't make any sense to me. And one of the tip top ones is if you are a team that employs one of the league's superstars, the last thing you should want is that player going out and risking injury, or in this case, like, especially when you're talking about different countries with different laws and stuff like that, literally risking detainment. That's the last thing you should want with your investment. And yet, like the fact that there are owners fighting new owners with new money to be able to keep or maintain that status quo, like that's the kind of thing that, you know, this shouldn't even be a point of conversation. This should just be, all right, this is now the new reality. We have to fix this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like for the majority of the time, they weren't dealing with like geopolitical threats, like what's happening now. But just the idea of, protecting your investments, right? Like the Russian team that Brittany Griner plays for paid Diana Taurasi to not play in the WNBA for a year so they could protect their investment in her, right? Like they paid her about 8 times her salary to not play in the WNBA that year.
And that owner is like, man, what a concept.
Yeah.
Wow.
Robert Sarver, that's the owner.
Oh my God. I knew it. I was afraid to say it, but it's so freaking perfect. Of course it was. Of course it was Bobby Sarves. No, it's wild. No, I can't wait. I can't wait to check out your content. I was literally waiting for you, Sabrina, to put out the link out there to subscribe to The Athletic. So I used that link to be able to subscribe to The Athletic finally. I've been waiting literally years. Harrison has been driven up the wall while I wait for an excuse or a reason to subscribe to The Athletic. I have one now because Sabrina is writing about the W. Her work is incredible. We are a worse website without her. Thanks, Sabrina, for stopping by.
Yeah, I mean, I always enjoy talking about the Lakers. So
geopolitical and the Lakers. We'll talk to you soon, everybody. Make sure you check out Raj's show, which is probably already going right now on Spaces. I'll put that on our pod feed as well as my lowdown. And I think the Taco Tuesday guys are also going to be breaking down this one for tomorrow's day on the pod feed. Till then, I'm Anthony Irwin. That was Sabrina Merchant, and we'll talk to you guys soon.